I told you I'm not leading, but I'm happy to discuss whatever comes to the plate. I know I have a couple things that I can think of to talk about if nobody has anything they want to discuss first. No.
So I posted in the group earlier in the week. I know a lot of you guys saw that I'm starting to use Streak. And it has, I mean, I don't know if you guys have your own systems in place yet. I'm sure some of you guys do, but this has been a game changer for me as far as reaching out to everyone who's been getting in touch with me, especially when I have ads running, because I get a lot of responses to the ads, to the forums. So I just want to like send out emails quickly and not have to like copy paste each time. And this really has been helping me do that. So Streak, and today I sat down and I just wrote out like responses for emails, like legit like template email responses for every single one of my challenge groups and like coach opportunities and all of those like responses to people so that I could have those ready to go. And it took me the whole day. I was homesick from work and it took me a full, 8 I don't know how you, if it took you guys that long to do the same thing or how you guys feel about doing those things. But yeah, it would be cool to get some feedback from you guys.
You said Streak, right? Two of my coaches, Laura's still on. Laura and Kelly, both of my coaches, started using it recently too, and they love it. I was just saying last night that organization is definitely not my strong suit. And I've done everything basically by hand and on paper and like one by one this entire time, except for systems like in my team. But I would love to know more about it. Everybody that uses it loves it.
Yeah, I had to take it off the video, but I am liking it a lot so far. And I did the same thing yesterday. I didn't spend as much time on it, so I'm not done. But I was trying to make template emails so that it was really easy because the hardest part for me is I don't have everyone in there yet, and I think that's going to be pretty time consuming for me as well to get everybody in Streak like moved over. But I like it. I was doing Teamsy this whole last month, and I like the organization of Streak so much better because I can see everybody, and it's not like they go away. Whereas with Teamsy, I feel like you have to search for them. They go away once you like run into them. Can people hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, I feel like I'm just barely starting, but I like it a lot so far.
That was does anybody use Teamsy? Anybody?
Yeah, I had been, but yeah.
My coach Kelly, again, she found Teamsy and started using it, and actually had one of the corporate guys from it like come do a call for us. And it's basically like an organizational system where you put all of your contacts from Facebook into this app and schedule like when you want to follow up with people and when you want to check in and when you want to invite them. And it just like reminds you every day so that you know exactly how many contacts you have and how many follow-ups and whatever, and tells you like a percentage of completion. So if you've done all your messages for the day, it's done. But like Laura said, people just like go away, like they don't pop back up. And I know personally, like I like to follow up with people more often sometimes than others. So, but they're both cool ideas of way to track your power hours and the people you connect with.
Yeah, I should say it's for a lot more than just tracking my power hour too, because I'm the type of person that's a little obsessive compulsive about including the people who've accepted my friend requests. So for me, it's a quick way to like so it's a little bit more than just the power hour because I can use it throughout my day on my phone and on my computer. So it's really helpful in that way.
Does anybody else have anything about organization they want to share? Any systems you use that work really well for you? Anybody a really organized person?
I am so not organized.
Neither am I.
I didn't even know that stuff existed. Like you guys were talking about it and I'm like, what is, I wouldn't even be able to use it though. Like I can't have things like pristine and perfect. I just have everything written on a piece of paper.
I think I get overwhelmed by the amount of friends. Like I have no problem friend requesting people, but it's a matter of like the sheer number of people that I'm friends with that I try to chip away at it each day. But I don't know. I think part of it's, yeah, like I think I need a system, and I just put everything into a spreadsheet just so I can at least keep track of people. But I'm definitely looking for something. I don't know much about Streak. I don't know much about the other one there that you mentioned, but I'm looking for something. So if anybody has anything that works, I'd love to hear more about it. Oh, Teamsy. Okay.
I'll ask Kelly if she'll share the call that the guy did explaining like how Teamsy works and everything, because he went over the nitty gritty of like how to set it up and how to use it. So if you vibe with that, it might be really helpful.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Welcome.
One thing to mention, I can't see who was talking, but Teamsy is $20 a month, and Streak is free if you have a Gmail account, or you can just have I mean, that's what it is through. So it might be worth, checking Streak out. It's like an extension of Gmail that you have to download, but it's really easy and it's free. So it might be worth looking at something free before something you pay for, and see which one you like.
Good to know. Seda said, I'd love to know if you guys have figured out how to see all your friends on Facebook and download a list. Does anybody know how to do that? Neither do I.
So I actually looked it up.
Is because when I go through like my chat feature on my Facebook, I just feel like at this point I keep seeing the same names of people popping up on that chat because those are the people that I keep interacting with on Facebook. So I need the new people. Like I need the people I haven't spoken to in like 15 years since 2004 when Facebook first came out. Like those are the people that I starting conversations with.
I saw something the other day, I think it was yesterday too. I don't know if you guys saw that, how Lindsay Stay posted about like her mom and her assistant deleting a bunch of people whose Facebooks were inactive to like make room on her account. I would love to know how they did that, because I'm sure that we probably all have people that have like deactivated accounts. And if you're writing people like that, it's not a surprise why we don't get a response. So maybe we should write that down and see who can.
Yeah, but Dana, if they're deactivated, you won't be writing them because it shows that they're deactivated. They're just still taking up a slot in your
Facebook
like friend number. Yeah. But you won't be writing them because I have some deactivated friends that I've noticed, and it says they're deactivated. You can't write them.
Okay, so we'll find out how to download all your Facebook friends into a file. Good thing to know. I personally have a topic that I can bring up that I would love advice about, and it's probably pretty similar for some of you guys, but I use Acuity scheduling to do my one-on-one calls, and I've been using it for a couple months now. And I still find that there's a lot of people that don't schedule calls, or they schedule them and then don't call and don't show up. Or they just want to ask questions all week and then never have one-on-one calls. And I'm just like, kind of frustrated because I want to be there to give them my undivided attention for one-on-one calls, but I also don't want to chase people and completely organize my schedule around being on a whim all the time for calls. So I'd love to know what you do that helps.
I actually do the same thing. And I was dealing with a lot of what you were dealing with, is that they would schedule calls and they would show up, but they would still like ask 50,000 questions every day. And I didn't want to like point anybody out, but like you said, I think it's important that our time is respected as well. So what I did, and I've done it a few times, is I basically made a post in my personally sponsored team page. And I was just like, look, it's not that I don't want to talk to you, but I schedule calls for a reason. Number one, it's organization for me. Number two, when I schedule that time with you, I'm 100% focused on you. Whereas if you're asking me 50,000 questions throughout the day, I'm not going to give you my best answer because I might not be prepared for what you're asking for. But if I know in advance what you want to talk about, then I can really prepare that. And I think that helped a lot. Like, people were understanding of that. But I would especially think they would understand you, like having a son and needing a schedule. And I think maybe you just need to, you know, buck up a little bit.
I made a post like that about a month ago because I had a coach who literally 3 weeks in a row scheduled a call. And then like when I would write her would be like, oh, I have to shower. I'll call you in 20 minutes or like just like crazy reasons. And I was like, and I said to them personally, I was like, listen, I want to like basically just what you said. I schedule these to be organized. Like I take time out of my day. I set that aside. I make sure that Declan is, you know, busy, whatever. And they, you know, respected it, but I still don't feel like it's really made much of a difference. But I can try it again.
Yeah, I would try it again, or do like I like if sometimes I don't get people scheduling calls at all, so I'll make a post like, I can't wait to talk to you next week. Who wants to set up a call? And then next thing you know, like I'll have like 5 new calls on my acuity for the week. So sometimes I just think they forget to schedule or they forget that's available.
Yeah, I've been doing that too, Rachel. Trying, because I used to just be there all the time, and that definitely doesn't work. Okay, who else has a topic?
I'm like super overwhelmed coming into the new year because it's like you work so hard in 2015 to hit elite, and then you hit elite, and then the next day you have to like start all over again. So like none of that even matters anymore. But what's like crazier than that is like most of my coaches were 2014. So I literally feel like I'm completely starting over. Do you guys feel that way?
I do too, because you need all new diamonds.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like, holy crap, it's gonna at least take me the first quarter to at least build new coaches like into the business. So I don't know. I guess I feel a little behind right now, and it's kind of stressful. I don't know if what are you guys doing for the new year as far as like recruiting and stuff?
I feel the exact same way. Like, I feel like once we locked in end of year goals, it was kind of like a crash for me of like I need to breathe after 2 years of just like hardcore. And, you know, now I'm back at it, but I feel like I'm exactly where you are too. Like my focus right now is recruiting new coaches and getting them started right.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that because I actually came to you for this advice. So I've been having really good luck this year because I went into this year the same way you went into last year. So I guess you could take your own advice that you gave me, and that was that you went into this day one last year where you said that that's what you were going to do. And that's what I did. I woke up on January 1st and I said, this year I'm going to be elite. And so that was my focus. And I was watching a call the other day where they were saying that you get what you post for. And when we're talking more about like the challenge groups and stuff like that, obviously that's what we're going to be attracting. So I've been trying to redirect the way that I'm posting more toward the business and making mine, like Bonnie Engel always says, like a sneak peek into coaching. And that's been helping me a lot because a lot of people have been now reaching out to me more about, hey, I'm interested in your challenge group, but hey, what are you doing at the same time? And I talk to everyone about it. And I've noticed, because I'm kind of in the same boat, a lot of the people that were hitting Success Club were from 2014. So, I mean, I think we're all starting from scratch, but it's the same thing you did last year. You're just doing it again. I mean, you have a nice foundation. So I think take your own advice that you gave me. Just keep focusing on that stuff. You're fine. You're going to do it again.
Anything else? I guess it's just overwhelming coming into it. It's like, I don't know. But you're right.
I honestly think, Natalie, sometimes that like I trip myself out at the beginning of the year because I was like, oh my God, I have to do things so differently. Like, what can I do better? And what can I do faster? And like, the reality is you don't really have to do anything differently. You're just doing it more efficiently this year because you have a year of doing it underneath your belt.
Then you only have to advance 2 this year, not 5. Think about that.
Yeah. It's not, I know it's hard because it's like, I don't know, the focus is just different. You want to help your team grow, but at the same time, you want to hit elite. And to hit elite, it's about bringing in like literally 50 new people so that 5 of them stay, and then helping those people advance too. So.
Guys, I have a question about, I'm just a diamond. I'm not like a star diamond or anything. So I was wondering, did you notice that, sorry about him, did you notice that there were certain people that came into your business that kind of just wanted to run with it, where you didn't have to like drag them through the mud or something like that? Sorry.
Maybe like 1 out of 30.
So yeah. What did it take? I mean, did you like have to be like, okay, we're setting up our call, we're gonna do this, now we're gonna do this? Like, did you have to lead them and kind of hold their hand through the whole thing? Is that, because I'm just trying to figure out how all of this is gonna work. I have people that say, I want to run with this now, but Liz has always told me match their commitment level. So if they're not gonna want to set up a call with me, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's kind of where I'm stuck.
I honestly, in my opinion, do get a getting started right system going as fast as you can, because that was a game changer for me. I really, when I was pretty new, like a newer diamond, and I started bringing coaches on, I didn't necessarily have a system of how I got them started. Once I did, I do the exact same thing with every person and give them all the benefit of the doubt. And you really don't know until you do so who's going to run with it or not. Putting them on a getting started right call, sending them a coach welcome email. I send a coach questionnaire. I send all the info about team calls and challenge groups and like what's going on in the team, so they know what to expect, and put it in the coach for every single person.
Do you then put them into like a coach training program, like almost right away? Like, say they're like, okay, they did their questionnaire, they did everything, and then like, I guess where I'm getting stuck is they're not seeming like they're hitting Success Club, or they're not. I don't know. I don't know if it's just because it's just beginning, so I need to kind of just let things happen. I can't like control the process so much. But I was just wondering, like, do you put them into a coach university type of program right away? And then is it Liz's, or is it your own, or is it like an abbreviated version of Liz's or something like that?
I can tell you what I personally do, and then I'm sure somebody probably else does it differently, but I wait to put my new coaches in my boot camp until we've had a getting started right call. So in my email, it explains that I hope that they can send it back within 72 hours. And then I always try to schedule a getting started right call within their first week of signing up. And then once I've had the getting started right call where I discuss, Success Club and why it should be non-negotiable and all that kind of stuff, then I put them into my boot camp. So it's not a like wham all at once. I don't know if anybody else does it differently. I know too.
Yeah, going off of what Natalie just posted in the chat box. She and I were talking about this, and I make it a conscious effort to set the tone in my team page and get every single one of them excited. I want them to know, and we actually did our first call of the year yesterday, and I want them to be excited about what this business is all about. Like, I want them to see that they can accomplish these things. So right off the bat, like, they know what is expected out of them, whether they're a new coach or they're a veteran coach. Like, Success Club is the first thing that comes out of my mouth. And for the longest time, I was holding that back, but that's how you succeed in this business. And I let them know that right off the bat. And I talk about it a lot in my team page, a lot. Like, they know before I even gonna get started right calls with them, they're in the team page. They already know the word Success Club. That's one of the first things they talk about. So I think that that's a huge thing, is just letting them know what you're expecting out of them right on the bat, like not overwhelming them or anything, but I set the, I really do try to set the tone in the team page and let them know what is expected out of them right off the bat, that's not an option for our team. Like, that's the thing that if you're what they know, if they're coming in and they're telling me that they want to succeed in this business, that's the first thing that I tell them they need to do every single month. And that's just something. And then obviously I'm like Dina, I do the Get Started Right call before the Coach University, which I have my own, but yeah, I think it's all about, as they're even learning, it's just continuously posting in your team page and letting them know what's out of them, and shouting them out a lot. Shout out everybody. The first challenge pack, when they're 1 point away, I mean, once they hit success starters, I'm all about it. I mean, Success Club is my team culture. I'll tell you that.
So I think one thing not to forget as a brand new Diamond too is that it's all about continuing to do the same thing, right? Like, you have to keep recruiting. You have to keep growing your team. Your team has to see that you are doing what you're expecting of them. So if you're not able to continue to recruit and grow your team, then your team's going to say, well, if she can't do it, why can't I? And they'll pick it up, because in the beginning, sometimes they just don't.
In reference to that, sorry, I was running around. I always ask myself, and I don't know if you're the one that said this, Natalie, or if I heard it somewhere else, but ask yourself, if my coach did what I do, would they be successful? I didn't even realize it's already 8. Do you guys have any other topics? I mean, I have a couple other things I'd be curious to ask about, but I don't know if they'd help anybody else. Is anybody heavily using a like page right now? Yeah. Kelsey, you are you?
I am as well.
Same, I am as well.
I was just curious because I've been growing mine for a while, and I feel like I need to start building that up now, because I don't want to get to a place where, like, 8 months or a year from now that I'm like, oh my God, I haven't built any kind of a like page. And I've just been consistently posting. I think it was after the Megan Ewaldson call, where she was just like, post 1 to 2 times a day. Just be super consistent with it, like you are on your Facebook. You basically don't get hardly any traction. I'm overlapping a lot of the social media content from my normal page. And I was just curious if you guys have found anything that, like, sticks out that helps you grow it. But the one thing that I did this week that I haven't really done before is, instead of like boosting an ad, I just promoted the page and I put a simple picture with it. And I spent like $20 for the course of like 3 days, and it got me like 151 likes on the page. So I just remembered that Megan Ewaldson said, like, when you're going to make coach opportunity posts or like challenge group posts, to like build up the likes on your page the week prior to doing so. So that's kind of my game plan. I didn't know if anybody had 2 cents to add to it.
That's what I do. I mean, I run a lot of ads. My bridal group gets me a lot of likes on my page, and it's good because they're all sticking to my market. That's who I'm targeting. So I would say that a nice chunk of the people that follow my page are people getting married, which is good. But yeah, I just promote. I think I'm getting most of my likes from ads, but I do one a month where it's primarily just promoting to the page, which is, like you said, about 100 to 150 likes for a couple days. And then I consistently post. I up mine to 3 to 4 times a day because, and I don't ever get anybody commenting or liking on it, but it just shows for the people that do start liking your page and start following you that you're there and you're posting. But my inbox is always full. And that's what's weird. Like people, no one's ever commenting or anything on my page, but my inbox, I swear to God, there's like 20 plus messages in that thing every single day. And it drives me crazy because it's so hard to keep up with. But like the page is like crickets. It's the weirdest thing. Yes. And I do the exact same content as my own personal page. I just copy it over and then I recycle posts. So if a post gets really, really good traction, I save it, like the words, and I'll put it with a new selfie. I have like my little selfie, library or whatever it is that you kind of keep, and I do the same post a lot.
I do that too. I started copying text and sending it to myself on Facebook so that I have it later on. It just
no one ever knows either.
I need to become bride.
Yeah, no one ever knows. They never know that it's like redone. I go back for like a couple months from now and I'll repost it. Like no one would ever guess.
Yeah, and I would say too, like, take the advice of Melanie Mitro. Like when she said, she just posted to her Instagram without even knowing what the heck Instagram was, just so that she had something there, so that one day when she was ready to turn to it, she had something there, right? So, I mean, it's as simple as that. Like, just do something with it. Like, it doesn't have to be rocket science. We don't have to make it out to be this like hugely complex thing. We just have to do something, and then when we're ready to really run with it, we can.
That's exactly how I feel because I'm like, I don't know, at 3,100 friends or something like that, and I'm like, I know that I'm gonna get to 5,000 in the next year. So it kind of skitzes me out. That's crazy, Kelsey. I think you should lead a call on that. Oh. Does anybody else have anything else that they're wanting to chit chat about?
It's going to dinosaurs for the trash. It's going to eat it. Animal. It's going to eat an animal. It's going to eat animal. It's going to eat animal.
That's interesting that your team is mostly people you don't know.
Yeah, my friends don't trust me. I don't know what else to say about it.
They'll come around.
I have a question about that actually. When you're getting people, so now I'm starting to get like this, random strangers liking my page and things like that. And now to expand your network, when you say it's people that you don't know, which is like kind of great. Well, are you messaging them or are they messaging you, or how is that working? If anybody,
like if they like your page or if they're commenting on your posts.
kind of, I guess, in a sense, kind of the same thing. So if people are liking my page, I'm then going ahead and like messaging them, friending them, starting a communication with them. But and if they're commenting on your post, I guess it depends on like what they're commenting. But if they're not necessarily asking for more information, how are you then making that initial contact with people that you don't know? That's my big question. Are you
I usually add them to my regular Facebook page and then still building the relationship there. And I always, like, every time somebody does comment or something on my posts or something, I always respond. Like, that's like a goal of mine, to respond to every single comment. Like, and that's how it builds a relationship. But once they answer me again, then that's when I start like actually trying to really form with them. But
that too, Kelsey, what you just said was something Chelsea Pearson said on that social media call a long time ago about building your Facebook affinity, to comment on literally every single post on everything.
including your personal page too. Every single one should be answered.
I do the same.
And do you scan through the people that are liking your like business page and determine who you're gonna like? Are you gonna pick and choose? Because I've been looking through and seeing who's liking it and then picking and choosing. I mean, kind of based on what their page looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're kind of doing?
Yeah, I'm very selective. I'll tell you that. I do kind of browse, and if I get a weird vibe, I usually don't add them.
Okay.
I'm the same way, for sure. And I honestly think that when I was newer, I was kind of like, I'll take anybody and everybody. Like, now I know that like my best coaches are the ones that are most like me. And if I look at their page and I have nothing in common with them and they don't look like somebody I would vibe with at all, then it's not saying I wouldn't be happy to help them, but it most likely is not somebody that's going to be a runner for me. Maybe for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like Nat says, niche down.
It sounds so weird, but when I say it out loud, but I literally have to ask myself, like, would I be friends with this person? Like, I look at their page and I'm like, and I'll see like them like politics hating and stuff like that. And I'm like, nope, like on to the next person, because that's just not who I am. And I know we wouldn't click. So I'm very picky with that kind of stuff. I've always been that way though.
I have one more question before we finish up. Do you guys mind?
Go for it.
So Nicole O'Neill and I have been working together on like a lot of systems for our team because it's awesome. It's growing, and we're having like to kind of go back to what we're doing with. I think we're doing an okay job getting coaches started right and getting the calls and they're responding. But we were just talking about how we have our self-paced training that we worked, really hard on putting together. And instead of, sending out something every day in like a new coach jumpstart training or coach basics or whatever that we made ourselves, we let coaches go through like each file, but it's really hard to hold them accountable. So is anybody messing around? Like we're thinking of messing around with like setting up some sort of like coach training through MailChimp or a newsletter or anything like that, where our coaches like have to respond.
So that is exactly what I want to use Streak for. Streak allows you to send out or to track, like, right? When a person responds to your email, you can track the next email that you're sending out to them and even how many days it takes them to respond. And if they don't respond within 3 days, you can send them a follow-up saying, I sent you guys this message 3 days ago and I still haven't seen your response. So you're holding them accountable and you're letting them know, like, yeah, I am watching and seeing how quickly you guys are going through the training. And it can still be self-paced because once you have those templates set in Streak, you can send it to each person like the day that they sign up as a coach, and it doesn't have to be this one big like everybody starts on Monday kind of thing. So it really can be like each coach goes at their own pace and you have the templates there, and when they respond you send them the next thing.
That sounds like exactly what we need. So maybe
I actually have something to say to this. When you first started, what did you do? Did you go through Liz's Coach University?
Are you asking me, Rachel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, when I first started, I was like dabbling and Liz was pulling me through stuff. And I did Liz's very first coach basics. And it was hardcore. She'll tell you, like, I mean, it was insane. I think she mentored 5 of us. And the assignments for every single day were like out of control. Like we were supposed to be talking to, I think, 100 people every day. And I was working full time and like planning my wedding, and then like we'd have all these calls multiple times a week, and I think I was like I can't finish the homework, like, so yeah, that's what I did, and then failed.
I've done a lot of trial and error with like getting my coaches through like Coach Basics and creating like a whole new self-paced thing, and I think like I kept coming back to what I did and what made me want to go through Coach Basics. And granted, it was with Keith Callahan and Liz, I think both did it together, and I think Dana and Natalie were actually both in the same Coach Basics with us. And to me, it was like the support and the community of that group. And I mean, there was a ton of people in the group and everybody was commenting and like engaged. And I think that was what made me want to, like, I literally woke up every morning at 8:00, watched his quick video and like did my VAT, and like, it was because of the community. And I think when I pulled away from that, I lost a lot of good coaches because they didn't feel that same sense of, you know, atmosphere. Did she just leave? Where'd she go? Oh, well. I don't know. I guess I'll stop.
Well, that's really good advice, Rachel. And I actually, I'm curious about that because personally, like, the community was great for me. I guess like my team isn't very big, right? And a lot of us, like, especially if we're newer diamonds or we're going to be going through those trainings. And I also don't want to like latch on to Liz and be like, hey, I'm just going to throw all my new coaches into your training. So what do you do in that situation?
Yeah, that was like the thing I did too, because I wasn't recruiting, you know, 20 coaches a month to kind of get that atmosphere. So that's where I struggled with a lot. I mean, I'm creating, because obviously they just came out with a whole new training in the back end office. So I'm actually going through and using that again. I'm willing to open up and pair up with, as you know, leaders as well to help get that big community, because it's like the same thing. Like Liz, we don't want to piggyback off of her. We want to step up as our own leaders, but you know, it's hard when we don't recruit that many people at the same time.
I can say something about this because I have done them both ways as well. When I first made my first new coach mentorship, it was when we like thought that Liz and Keith were kind of pulling the plug on stuff, and I teamed up with my success partner Taryn to make a Coach Basics and an Emerald to Diamond. And I personally like felt like it was kind of overwhelming for me to be running both of them. And then on Monday nights, I was running 2 calls back to back. And it basically got to a point where I was on calls every single night of the week and never eating dinner with my son. And I decided to create the new coach boot camp that I have now, which is self-paced. And I am having the same issue of like knowing if people are going through it and what pace they're doing it at. I have been checking in with them one-on-one, but I also heard someone, I don't remember who it was, it might have been on my mastermind call, that somebody, don't throw that, Declan. Somebody said that they do all self-paced trainings, but they do like 2 calls a month where they'll do like a new coach call every first and third Tuesday or something like that. I'm sorry, my kid is throwing trains at me right now. It might have been Melanie. I feel like it was someone else from my mastermind call, but they said that they just do like the first and the third whatever day a month for new coach calls, and just to like hold them accountable and answer questions, just like the same kind of a concept of having a weekly call like we did when we started. And I know when I did it the first way, where it was, you know, all the videos and everything daily, I felt like I was babysitting people a little bit, and I hated that feeling. I hated feeling like I had to be like, well, if you don't do this 3 days in a row, like I'm going to give you the boot. And I know that when I went through it, nobody had to tell me to show up every day. Like, I just did. And I feel like self-paced has kind of separated the people that are really serious about it from the ones that are not. So. All right. Does anybody have any more questions? Because it's 8:17. If you guys want to stay on for another 10 minutes, I'm happy to leave it on, but I have to go give Declan a bath.
I have a question for next week.
Go for it.
Have any of you guys done live coach opportunity events, and how have you run them and how have they gone for you? Because in San Antonio, the Market Council is looking to start hosting them and like this. So questions to you guys.
I've done them. I've done them through Google Hangouts, so it would go straight to stream through YouTube. And to be honest with you, the reason I'm very torn on them right now, because you can't see other people, so you don't really know who's on there and watching. But it runs the same way as Zoom would. I mean, you can still I screen share, and I shared my whole PowerPoint presentation, and I liked it because after you're done with it, it goes straight to your YouTube channel. But I can't at this moment say that it was very successful for me. I think that what's been really successful for me is my 1-day sneak peeks, which I actually got from Natalie. So that's what's been working for me. But the live ones haven't really done much for me yet.
Yeah, and I've done the YouTube ones too, and they haven't been hugely successful. I actually think that the Facebook events where I post 10, those have been much more successful for me because they're more interactive and people can comment and I can comment back. It's just really, really fast paced, like go, go, go for a whole hour, but it's great. But I'm talking about literally an event at a venue where people show up and they you face to our guests, coaches bring guests.
I think my coach Kelly did a webinar as well, and the first time something happened in her PowerPoints wouldn't work, but she did go on and create one that's recorded so she can send it to people.
Sorry, I'm reprimanding a 60-pound puppy. I'm out of breath. I made one because I had a lot of people asking and just trying to do different times and doing a live call and stuff like that. For me, it just didn't work with trying to get people on. So I just made a presentation that I could do, and my team, my coaches now, I sent it to them and they love it. And even my husband said that he liked it, which is kind of rare for him to say things like that. So I was like, okay. So I can post it in Beyond Diamond. It's just a Google Doc. And you guys can see what I did with it. And I'd love any feedback too, just because I kind of put in, so my niche is young professionals who understand health and fitness. So that's kind of who I market to and who I relate to the best. So it's a lot about time management and things like that. So you guys can probably adjust it to what your market is and things. But for me, it's worked out pretty well. And people really like that. They're like, oh, we'll get back to you this day and things like that. And so I'll give them a few extra days if I don't hear from them. But for the most part, it's worked out really well and people have liked it. I've got 2 new coaches from it. So it's worked out pretty well. Sorry, guys, I'm out of breath. Oh, Lord, I don't know how you do it, Dan, with baby. I can't even not do it with a dog. I've been homesick from work because the dog's sick, not because I'm sick, because the dog's sick. But I'll post it in the thing.
I can tell you something that will make you laugh right now. When I was speaking on a call last night for another team, and Declan has gotten like fallen in love with cleaning dishes. So he pulls the chair over to the sink, and I thought that's what he was doing last night, but he ended up taking the sprayer hose and spraying the entire floor of my kitchen and the carpet. So when I got off a call, my kitchen was soaking wet. That's what you have to look forward to, Natalie. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to end the call unless you guys say you want to keep it open. I'm happy to leave it open. Yes, no? No, you're good? Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.